So since I have no time to ever be by myself, and this is important, I'm just gonna make this anyway. So around the time that the two pagan higher ups, were banished to a certain interesting area of Long Island due to interfering with my teachings, right? All because, wow, man, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. All because some pagans didn't like the fact that I stuck up for women's rights in such a way that I took away their right to rape their daughters right after birth. Even though some cops had my back, some cops couldn't do shit about what the fuck was going on in the pagan culture. So as of a few days ago, after making those videos explaining some of this, I got a visit. The person that came to visit me was somebody who came up to me, one of their generals, all these years ago. From all these years ago, because even though he was one of the people who got banished, he decided to suffer in their suffering. So a few months went by back then, and he was he didn't want to be banished no more. So I forgave him, right? But other people were freaking pissed off. What's interesting is the area that he specifically mentioned to me, because that specific area, what's interesting about that is a story that I've already told before, months, years, if not ago, in these videos. I was bringing this person home named Tim, and after dropping Tim off on the way back to my friend's house, I seen somebody walking. What's interesting is I recognized this person briefly, so I picked him up. It was starting to rain. Dropped him off at the freaking place up the road because it was a long ass walk. Right after dropping him off, there was another kid as I round the corner. I didn't know this person. He was a black kid. So I pull up to him. I'm like, yo, do you really want to freaking walk in the rain? I'm like, I'll bring you the way you gotta go if you need to. The kid was like, thanks so much. He's like, I just got jumped. And this is where it got weird. And I told this story before, like, God knows, 1,000 videos ago. But the kid got in the car and I said, well, who jumped you? He said, I don't know. I don't know who he was. The car just pulled up out of nowhere. I said, well, what did he look like? He goes, the guy looked kind of like you. That's when I freaking got on the defense, because now this person could be possibly fucking crazy. So then I said, well, what did the car look like? He goes, the car kind of looked a little bit like yours. Now, that's another freaking part of it, is that the freaking car that I was driving at the time, I'm like, nobody's got a car like mine, right? So I'm sitting here thinking this kid might be full blown fucking crazy, but he wasn't jumping towards me. He's like, I know it wasn't you, but it looked so much like you, and it looked so much like your car. And there were other stories about this type of shit. Car, somebody looks like me, and I had a very unique car. So at that point, now that I've heard it for myself, right after somebody got jumped, I got fucking pissed off. I put a few phone calls out. They put a few phone calls out. Now everybody was on the fucking lookout for a fucking car that was exactly or similar to mine, and a person driving the car that was similar to me. Now this happens, this situation that led to those phone calls literally takes place along that strip of road where this person a few days ago mentions. What's interesting is that a few more years go by, and I'm still looking for this freaking car. I'm still looking for this person that looks like me. One of my cousins come up to me and tell me that freaking they've got a car that's similar to mine. I was looking, now I'm thinking similar to mine, like it's, the same make, the same model. I could use the parts to fix up my other car. That at that point was, it had a cracked engine block, so it wasn't really going in too far. Went through a puddle, cracked the freaking engine block. Eventually the car just, didn't want to move. So I'm thinking, okay, I go to check out the car. The car is so much like mine, but not like mine. Like my car had white stripes. This car had black stripes. My car's paint job was similar to the same color, but way different. So the point being is, and its spoiler wasn't the same, and I'm thinking in my head, like, this can't be the car. Plus I'm looking at the people that are selling the car, and they don't resemble me, right? Now, what's interesting about this car is I never put the car on the fucking road. And I've told you this story too in these videos. I never put that car on the road, but I took that car for one fucking drive. I took the license plates off my freaking Taurus at the time. So this was around the time that this had to be around the time that my first daughter, not my first daughter, my freaking daughter, the crazy one that dances on freaking everything and likes to make music that I can't fucking understand in a different language, was possibly born. But the point being is that freaking the one place that I brought this car, the one drive that I took this car on, was to the place where I seen Sean Allen last. And the place that I seen Sean Allen last was the same freaking place that years prior to that, and I mean years prior to that, was where my freaking cousin, the porn star, was fucking supposedly raped. So, as much as I just love making this in the fucking wide open area, due to the fact that, I just got fucking evicted by, the guy who told me 26 years prior that my dad was Secret Service, a month after what looks like my dad dead in a newspaper show up in another state. From the house that freaking I was kidnapped when I was 4 with my little cousin who was 3. They were threatening to make us into dolls. And then again, I was almost killed at 17 in that same house. Somehow, somehow, I mean, I was being freaking poisoned for how many fucking years? With the same shit they used to freaking give people chemotherapy. I was forgetting my own fucking name. Sure, I would forget the fucking house that freaking I was almost killed twice. The point being is that, when I went to go visit Sean, and I've told this story a fucking 100 times at this point, I realized it was the freaking house. Now I'm looking at fucking Sean crooked. By the time I leave the house safely, try to get Sean on the phone to tell him, like, hey, Sean, do you realize that this house that you're staying in, the house I just visited you in another freaking state, is the house that possibly my fucking cousin was freaking raped in like fucking 10 years prior? I can't get Sean on the phone. Next phone call I get is from Sean of a couple days before he's taking his freaking pilot's license again. I tell Sean all this shit. 3 days later, Sean's dead. Wow. So, that's my life. Actually, that's nothing. That's like this much. That's like this much. Go pay attention to the other like 5,000, 6,000 videos. Fuck this. I just wanted to know. It's just really funny that all of a sudden this pops up, and the first thing in my freaking head is like that whole situation where, I'm dropping my friend Tim off. Because don't forget, the first time that Tim was dropping me off, wow, man. That's when that whole freaking drug raid took place. Yeah, that was fun. So yeah, if I didn't say this, 100% at this point, I just wanted to, document like kind of what's going on. I mean, the thing is, I forgave the guy that freaking had nothing to do with the situation just because he said that he would suffer in the pains of, his 2 higher ups that I ended up taking out because they were influencing all of my pagan teachings through freaking dreams and cloaking themselves and fucking everything else that fucking, you shouldn't talk about. But they shouldn't have interfered with those lessons the way that they did by cloaking themselves to look like my teachers, so I was being fed the wrong bullshit. At this point, I'm thinking it's all fucking bullshit. Everybody lies. Everybody fucking deceits one another. It's bullshit. I'm stuck out here fucking shit. I have no fucking idea what the fuck, man. I'm running around with a fucking $2 to $20 million diamond saying like fucking like, where is a friend in the world? Meanwhile, one of the other groups is following me around saying, you're not Jesus. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck this. Fuck this. Go suck your fucking Dark Lord cock, you fucking jerk-offs. Can't fucking stomach this shit no more. I can't stomach this shit. I'm one of the nicest people, and I'm saying this fucking situation is like, and I'm also nobody that you fucking, that's why I'm saying it's like, wow, man, it's like all the fucking, it's like crazy when I think about like the shit that I forgot over the time period where I was being fucking heavily dosed with the fucking shit they were dosing me with. Fucking my own name. I forgot my own fucking name. Well, guess what? I don't know who's dead, who's not dead fucking at this point, but you know what? That's like, I remember me, man. After he came up to visit me, he didn't tell me nothing of this situation. He just wanted me to come to that area, and I'm thinking in my head, why does he want me to come to that area? I had a few thoughts on the matter, knowing like that was more than likely the same area, and then talking with one person I can get on the phone, they start to mention somebody else, which I didn't even bring up any of these. It was weird. I didn't even bring up the situation as much as freaking they spit out these two names, and I'm thinking in my head, wow, that's so fucking interesting. Like, see, I'm wondering if that was the kid that was walking right before I picked up the black kid that night. Walking in the freaking rain, man. Because freaking what? I was a good person. Fuck this bullshit, man. I had a fucking nice car, gold chains, and everything fucking going for me, and I got fucking shitted on by the people I fucking helped the most. The pagan girls who fucking were against the fact that they were fucking, some of them fucking, it wasn't like every one of them were doing it. They fed me some bullshit about how it had something to do with the fucking blood gang and fucking, or the fucking I forget which fucking one, but it had something to do with like, oh, once this happens, they're worthless. I don't even know what the fuck that is at this point. I'm still racking my fucking brain to remember what the fuck that was. With no fucking help, with no money. Can't get my fucking $1.8 million bank account, running around with a $2 to $20 million fucking diamond in my pocket waiting to be shot in the back of the fucking head. And then some dumb little clown asshole that looks like fucking Loki comes around the corner the other day, fucking waving a fucking laser pointer near my fucking heart and my face. And what would have fucking happened if I would have reacted, huh? Kicked the living shit out of him right there. Said, who fucking put you up to this? Nothing but my fucking suffering on top of me suffering? Fuck this. Fuck this. And fuck people who fucking don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because they were fed lies and bullshit. Those pagans that were taken down, they had fucking sons. Those sons threatened me in very, very interesting ways, even though at the time, fucking, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was on to the next thing. Like fucking, let's say 9/11. And the Church of Scientology. And fucking figuring out what the fucking problem was with that. And everything else that I ever fucking did for any fucking human being. Sean died like a few months after I fucking helped him understand what the fuck they were about to do to fucking everybody on planet Earth using Bitcoin as the fucking the key. How's that for fucking intimate details of somebody's life? In a fucking public space, like I would rather be fucking someplace making this in a fucking calm setting. Thinking of what's about to come out of my mouth. Not just rambled fucking jumble. That still fucking is the truth. How you doing? Good, good. So yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in life.